Hello and welcome to the episode number 6, Captivating
back.
Attention. We are back.
Flown by. Episode 6 already.
It has absolutely flown by. Josh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're in between travel. We've come back and you're about to head off again. And
Yeah.
Remy, you're here.
I'm here.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
You're about to head off as well.
Yes, everyone's heading away.
Man, it's all
Busy
Everyone's
one.
going but you.
but I've got stuff going.
Yeah,
I've got
that's
stuff going. But anyway, that's all right. Well, we need to kick off the episode with our staple. What's it called?
Yeah, we do. There's no gin here.
The agenda.
The agenda.
All right.
So what is up on the agenda today?
This gin here. Do you want to talk about that and I'll get the goodies ready?
I sure can. It is a Old Young's, do you say it? Is it juniper?
Sure, say
Juniper?
that. Juniper. It's French now.
Old Young's Juniper Society. We have apple and violet.
We do. So Old Young's is a distillery that I went to in WA. And, look at this. We already had a sneaky gin before. That's why there's ice in the glass.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a sneaky.
Might have got a bit impatient.
Pre-podcast gin. And so Old Young's is a distillery that we went to in WA. And while I was there, they said they had a subscription.
That's not gone well.
If not, Josh has just tried to put a really big blood orange into a glass that couldn't accept it. So, story of his life. And so we went there. They had a subscription. So I signed up to the subscription. And I like their subscription service, but we're going to talk about that in a second. All right, let's pour some gin in these. Now, you brought along some tonics.
I did.
Tell
I
us
saw
about
some
it.
different tonics walking around the other day and I went, you know what?
There was tonics walking around?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
some fancy tonic water.
Just as I
Wow.
walked around, just grabbed it.
Yeah, right.
No, I was walking through the shop the other day and went, you know what? I've never actually tried the Bickford Sons and it looks cool. So we're
right.
all for trying new things.
Let's try that out. We've got 3. How much tonic water do you think we're going through?
Oh, I don't know. I just figured bring all of it and happy
Bring
days.
it all. All right. Oh, I've just poured mine first. That was very rude. Sorry. All right.
This
here
guy.
you go, Josh. I'll top yours up so you don't.
Cool.
not
I will
out.
just remove empties.
Good idea. That has
Moved.
been removed. And Remy,
you.
you can do the big task of walking your way down here.
So
I was going
much
to say, I
effort.
won't throw that one.
And there you go, some gin for
I
you.
shall move that
Yeet
one
out
out
of
the
the way. So the reason I subscribe to this, and so yeah, we are members of multiple gin clubs. This is the Juniper Society, I believe. What I really liked about these guys, one, their marketing was on point. Their experience, we've talked about experiences before. They're
Yes.
in what do we call? What is that? Cellar door. Their
Oh, yes.
cellar door experience. I'm not much
Yep.
of a wine person, so cellar doors are rare. Their cellar door experience is really good. They had a fantastic person behind the bar, just
Yeah,
giving
cool.
the story, telling stories, and yeah, I don't know how much of it was true or not, but it was amusing. It was interesting. And so they do these gins for their subscribers that are only for the subscription. So these are not readily available gins. They do an entire run for
Just for the subscribers.
just for
I like
the
that.
subscription base. And then I don't believe it's available publicly.
Hmm.
You could buy another bottle, I think, if you're a member, but they basically make it to order almost.
Yeah.
Which is why sometimes they get delayed. This one was delayed. It should have been here about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
All right.
But I guess in bottling and,
Yeah.
and making a gin,
I do
takes
I do
some
like the
time.
artwork. That's pretty cool on there.
So this is our first one. So yeah, shout out to Old Youngs. It was a good one. Let's have a try.
It's nice. I had a sneaky
We
try.
had some last night actually. It was
Yeah,
fresh.
not going to lie. It was good.
It was very good. So that was good, and I do like their whole marketing. We've got another one of theirs. Oh, it's going around in circles.
It did stay working.
This is their gin, but I like their whole sort of marketing vibe. They do vodka as well.
Oh, so are these the same guys?
Same guys. That's why I suggested that one to be the one in the background. I didn't
Right.
realize it was going to be spinning, and it stopped. Oh no, there
No,
it
it
goes
goes back
again.
and
Okay.
forth.
All right. Well, you guys, if you find us not entertaining, I mean, first up, you just turn it off. I guess that makes sense. But otherwise,
Or just watch that bottle.
watch the bottle of gin go around.
It'll be going all night long.
Speaking of going around, we went part way around the country,
Yeah, something like that.
sort of, over to Victoria. And it was good.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was very cold.
You are correct. So a little bit of business update. We how many we talked about going away. We went away. We've done all the bank account things. We've cleared all that. We now have an accounting system. my accountant from my other businesses has jumped on board and is doing our accounting. It's pretty slow so far.
Cool,
but,
cool.
That is done.
I'm on the books.
You are on the books officially, which is expensive. I mean,
It's
good. Expensive, good. I mean, don't get paid that way, I guess. And so business is moving along. Now we're starting to actually take inquiries,
We are.
which is very exciting.
We've been in the process of
Quoting.
and trying
Yeah.
to work out what do you charge?
Yes.
How
Well,
much do we charge for our stuff?
that will come into one of our commitments we made last time round, which was timing. That was both of our commitments.
It was.
And I think we both, we'd be comfortable to say we both failed.
Yep.
Yeah. However,
Yeah.
we failed in the micro, but we're winning in the macro
We are.
because, well, you tell about it because you've been hands-on implementing this.
I have. Well, today was actually a good day that we realized all the stuff that previously we had put together, we can link and it just all works in one package.
Well, tell us
So-
more. Tell us details of what you're talking about.
So previously, everyone has their own different account login and all that kind of thing, and everyone for Timery. So Timery and Toggle.
Yep.
Toggle is the back end.
Remy's one.
Timery is the front end.
Yep.
I am.
Remy's been tracking.
Yep. And previously, we have done it so you track your day, but we haven't until today been able to link that. So
I get that data back and
yeah, so you
look
can
at it.
actually see what happens. Like I've jumped in and looked at it and gone, yeah, these are just my hours. This much work, because more work than this has been done.
Mhm.
So we hooked it up today. There's a little bit of a extra work around because the subscription fee is, we're trialing it out. So it's like, let's just see how this goes first.
Gotcha. So there's a way of doing this comfortably, but
Yes.
we have to pay for that. And
We do.
right now, business is not going that well.
Yes, exactly.
So we need to, yeah.
So the 10 minutes extra spent doing it is worth not paying the fee for
the
what it
time
is.
being.
For the time being.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now we've got it set up so that we create all the folders beforehand, before the projects get started, and then you can just go in after you've tracked all your stuff and then link, and then it's jump in, see your report, and you go, oh, cool, we have spent 40 hours this week on this project or whatever it is. It's all there.
And this is collectively across three people
It is.
who are able to track their hours while they're at work. I worked on this project and worked on this project and worked on this one. That's super
So
useful.
maybe we can update next podcast because we've done it between two of us today in trying to get our heads around it. And
Okay.
So I think tomorrow we will sit down and we will put all of the stuff together from all of the projects and we'll be able to see the bigger picture of how our week went time tracking. 'Cause it's been a good week for it. We've had
has.
lots on the go.
Well, Remy, you've been here more than normal.
Yes, I have been. Yes.
And Sam, the other editor, has been here more than
also,
normal.
yes, yeah.
And how have you found it, mate? Just staring at a screen all day.
Tiring actually. I have to get up, walk around, but it's not too bad. A lot more productive, I found, which is weird. I guess if I'm not here, I'm doing not much else. So that's a lie. That's a
That
lie.
makes sense.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's been good.
Okay. And how have you found the timing thing?
It's hard to remember to keep going in and listing your projects and time in it. Or it's easy to let it run.
Yes.
So I've set it and I've gone and done something else and I'll get caught up and then it's just running by. And that's annoying, but it's all right.
Okay. It's good from my point of view, from looking at the data and being able to, like, haven't sat down and looked at it, but we'll get to that point where we can look at it and go, okay, that video cost X amount to make. That video, that production here costs X amount. You can start sort of adding value to it and working out, is this worthwhile video? No. Is this content here worthwhile? And you have to, I mean, it's sometimes hard to decipher that. But if you've got no data, you got nothing, no place to start. And then obviously trying to work out what this data is worth, what this content is worth in terms of sales. Can you directly link to that? Can you link to more hits on the website or whatever it might be? That's, I guess, the next step in this process. And they're working out what it's worthwhile. Quoting has been an interesting one for that, to be able to sit down and work out, okay, we're going to assign over a course of a month to run social media accounts for a particular company. We're going to assign this much time, this much travel, this much editing, planning, scheduling. It's amazing how quickly it stacks up, doesn't it?
It is, yeah, because you want to find that sweet spot in there because you don't want to just go and throw a massive amount of money and go, this is how much it's going to cost, which is just ridiculously over, and people just go, no, I'm not going to pay that.
No,
But on the flip side, you don't want to go, we can do it for this, and then you end up 20 hours over what you'd planned, and you go, we've made like
we may as well
50
just pay them.
Yeah.
May as well
Yeah,
just pay
we just
them.
did this for free.
We just pay you guys not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have made more sense. Exactly. It is a challenging point of view. But I mean, every business is in that situation of trying to work out, you work in retail. You run an online store and you've got your price of what you buy the thing for, and then you mark up on that. You're like, oh, cool, I'm making money. But you're not, because you got to pay for your website and you got to pay for this and that and all the other elements in there.
Everything adds up.
Yeah, exactly right. And so we're trying to sort of do that in an area where we've done it for years and done it, I like to think, pretty well and shown results for it, which is why we're getting some attention for it. But we haven't necessarily priced it at a point where you're like, hey, this is worthwhile doing.
Yeah, we've just gone, cool, we can make stuff. And I mean, one thing that makes me think very positively with it is some of the promotions that we've done and the posts that we've come up with and actually posted. And you go for a little walk through the warehouse just looking for other things and you go, oh, I posted about that the other day and there's a few more sitting out there than there normally is. To go, well,
to get in terms of orders.
Obviously something has worked because there's more things sitting out there than a normal day, and it just happens to be a day or two after a post went up. So you go, all right.
When you say there's more things sitting out there, I mean, ideally you want less things sitting out there because you've sold them. But you're talking about the orders waiting to go.
The orders
Just
that are ready to be shipped.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, they have already been paid for, ready to just go out in the truck and happy days.
That's what you want to do. So we spent. Now you would have heard that if you heard the last podcast, we were interviewing Sammy and.
Elise.
I keep going to say the wrong name, and I haven't yet.
Yeah, I should have remembered that way earlier.
But sometimes I
contacted her.
Sometimes I have to pause to make that call. So Sammy and Lee sat down with us and had a wonderful chat, and we thought it was going to be 15 minutes. Went on for half an hour, so I apologise to chewing out their day, but it was worthwhile. They give a different perspective, but a very interesting perspective. So that was good. Now that was all part of a longer trip.
Yeah, what were we away for? A week and a bit.
Longer, yeah. We left on
8 days.
Sunday and came back the following Monday. It was about 9 days.
Yeah.
8 nights.
Yeah. It was the longest trip I've done in a while.
What's your take on cheap hotel rooms?
It's awesome having a place that has no aircon and one blanket. The best.
This is true. And I told you we went over, so we went from Adelaide to Horsham, Horsham to Melbourne for a couple of nights, but we shifted around Melbourne because we were trying to keep local to where we were going. And then we went to, where was that next place? Bairnsdale. And then we got into a place that we were for an event. We were filming and doing media for an event. And that...
It was nice to get somewhere, get all your stuff out and know...
I'm here for 4 nights.
I don't need to just pack all this up in the morning. You're set. That was very nice.
So on the way over, we did a bunch of media. We filmed our journey, filmed the vlog style of what we were doing. But we also stopped in with a couple of companies, Beretta obviously being one, where we spent some time with them filming.
Yeah.
So this was, I guess, on the road, like going to a potential client, as they were in this instance, and spending time with them to create content.
Yeah.
Josh, we've done heaps of stuff here. And we've done heaps of stuff that is our own content for our own sort of audiences. And but how did you find going to another workplace, another sort of workshop or whatever, warehouse?
It was interesting from a few different perspectives. One was just what gear do you take? Because previously we've done events where we're in very familiar territory and any and all gear that we've taken, we just take everything.
And with this one, we were on the road for 9 days.
Yeah.
That every piece of gear we had to take, we had to move it at some point in, out, or out of the way.
Yeah.
More likely out of the way more often.
And so when you pack all your gear, that you get to a point sometimes when you just go, no, I shouldn't have brought this.
Yeah.
You're often shoveling around gear that you don't even use. Yeah, you've had to manhandle it around. So there was the going in with a sort of minimal footprint.
Okay.
And also from a business side of view, you don't really want to be rocking up and just in and out, carrying cases of stuff and everything, and you look messy,
isn't it? It's time. You're back and forth, and depending on how close you can park. And in one instance, I didn't park very close at all.
Probably as far away as you could have.
It literally was as far away as we could have. Yeah.
Except we had one car park, I reckon.
No, we didn't.
One more car park.
We were on the corner.
Were we?
We were right in the back corner.
Well done.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it was interesting walking into somewhere that like I know I've never seen. I think you probably have seen Beretta a little more. You know, you've been there.
I've
before,
been to Beretta
but
previously, but I've not been
speaking
to.
from my experience, is walking in and it's all cool taking in a new place, and you know they tell you a little bit about it, but just the mind's like, all right, what have we got to work with here? You're looking around, going, all right, that's cool there. Yeah, it's just a corner. That's just desks and stuff. But yeah, I mean, thankfully, the first place we went to had a fresh room that they just done up as like
finished.
their boardroom,
Yeah.
and it looked very nice.
It did.
It gave
small, but nice.
Yes, I've reviewed some of the footage, and
Happy with it?
we did multiple different videos, and the fact that we did multiple videos and there's a nice difference, and both of the shots look very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you've edited those.
I have.
How do you reckon that room goes
Amazing.
for?
Oh, just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very different to what we've, I guess, done here and put out here. So it's nice to edit with and
Different background.
yeah, different
I
background.
have to say, I walked past you today a couple of times, and yourself and Sam editing different things, and I'm like, it took me a second look because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's right, this was on our travels
Yeah.
because you didn't recognise the background or it was different. Josh, when we were at the first place, it was an interesting dynamic. So they've got about 40 brands that they represent, right? So a lot. So and they've got sort of one marketing guy who represents this, and there was we certainly found ourselves relating to him.
Oh, 100%.
Because he was just done.
Yeah.
in a nice way. Like
Yeah.
you've got there's almost so much content you could create, you're not able to create anything.
Yeah, you get stuck in, I've got to cover all of these.
Yeah.
And if you just have someone go, all right, you've got to create for this, easy. You just go, cool. When you've got so much to look at, you go,
But there's also that sort of that shop blindness, is that what it's called? Whatever it is, it's that when you get, I mean, we get it here, like, and this is why we can relate. Like you come here and you're like, all right, I need to make another video about some other product that, we've probably made 40 videos on the same table. And you're like, there's like a creative lull where you're like, oh, what do we do here?
Yeah.
And you could tell that was present there.
Oh, and I think by his own admission as well, was just
Exactly right. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, which is a lot of sympathy going on.
which I found it very interesting because I guess I was almost getting to that point.
You have been,
I've been close to that point where just that creative spark, it's just dwindling a little bit of that. Yeah, just got stuff to create, but there's so much stuff to cover, and so walking into there and going, we set up for our initial couple shots.
Yep.
I was like, all right, cool. We got into that, and then I think you did a live stream.
I did.
And so during that live stream, I didn't have a lot to do, snap some photos, bits and pieces, but it just got me looking around the room going, there's some cool things we can do here. And I think you went off and...
I went and had an impromptu meeting with their general manager. And
which was great because it just, that set me off on like, cool, I'm just going to start creating TikToks.
I came back and walked in the room and you just smiled at me like, I've done 30 TikToks.
Yeah. It was great. It was good. It was good to get that spark back because even just to be thrown in that situation of like, all right, you got a room, there was a bunch of products in the room and it's like, all right, create something.
Go.
And just went nuts with it.
And it was actually really good. Like the comments from the guys there was like, they were just almost jaw dropping. Like, how do you guys come up with this stuff? You're like, well, there's an element here of being fresh and being able to, have fresh set of eyes come in and look at it and go, oh, that's exciting. This is interesting. That thing on the wall that you guys walk past every day, that's actually like, that's cool. That's rad. Like we can.
There's so much you can make with that.
That's
for them, it's just you walk past it and go, cool. Well, you don't even look at it. You just walk past it.
Straight past. And that's where I think that I can understand as a small business owner in my other business that you just get so used to it and it seems mundane because you see it every day. And to have that fresh set of eyes come in and go, oh, that's rad. Let's do this and we do it from this angle. And you're like, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that, but I never thought of that. And and then I guess what we've built here is a number of times, guys, a team here that, Josh, you might start feeling a creative lull, which is legitimate. That does happen, and then you can throw to someone like Remy, and Remy, come up with an idea here, and then Remy can sort of bounce that off. And as we start having these guys, Remy and Sam, in more, we can spend a bit more time around that sort of the creative element of like kicking ideas around.
Oh, because it's the idea that you get 4 ideas in is like, yes, that's the one.
Exactly.
But it takes that, should we try this? No, that won't work for this reason. And then you get a few in and you go, yeah, here we go. Get a bit of roll going.
One of the workshopping things that I've always done that we came up with years ago. We were running an event company, and we came up with years ago, and the deal was it was brainstorming for an idea for an event, all right. But the rule was nothing was too much, right? So the budget was unlimited, the ideas were unlimited. You could do stuff that didn't even exist. And so we had this event. We were actually doing a business launch, right? And we were like, all right, we're going to do this event. And so, but for the next 1 hour, every idea you have, you say, every single idea, right?
Yeah.
And we had ideas of like jets flying over, and we're going to have the president of the United States come to the thing to open up our company. And this is like 3 dudes who are like 19 who just had no idea what they're doing. And we would just, everything was an option. We would have like a whole, like a running of the bulls down like a little alleyway. Like everything was an option, right?
Yeah.
And then after the hour, or however long it was, you're like, okay, cool. Now let's start rationalizing a few of these.
Yeah.
And you look at the jets idea of like, let's get a flyover from jets. And you're like, it's not realistic. But what could we do? Maybe sign writing is possible, like the skywriting.
Yeah.
Or
What can we do that could replicate that?
Yeah, exactly right. And what by opening your mind up to sort of anything goes type option, you would then sort of wind it back to like, okay, cool, here's ideas that we would not have allowed ourselves to think of, that we now actually, you know what, we can actually pull that off.
Yeah, it's actually attainable.
Right, you know what, maybe we can't get the president of the United States along to our launch, but maybe we could get the local member of parliament.
Yeah.
Or maybe a local council member, possibly. Hey, that's better than, like, we didn't have that idea. We didn't think. We didn't
better
think
than
of
no
like,
one rocking up.
Yeah, we didn't think of like, oh, maybe we could get the local council. We didn't think of that. We thought of the president of the United States for some reason. Not even our prime minister for some reason. How patriotic were we? Anyway, and so being able to sort of scale that back to something that you could actually maybe achieve. Maybe a few of those ideas were a little bit beyond our scope, and we didn't pull everyone off. That didn't sound right. We didn't achieve.
Moving on.
Maybe we didn't achieve all the ideas that we came up with, but we certainly came up with a ton more realistic ideas that we could have actually achieved.
Yeah, by just letting them go wild
100%.
and then pull them back.
Yeah, and I look forward to we haven't done that with these boys yet, have we, Remy?
No.
No, but I look forward to
you've
it.
told me about that,
We've done it before.
You and I have done it before.
Very long time ago.
So I look forward to doing that. But I would encourage business owners or marketers or whatever, allow yourself to do that, because so often we don't allow ourselves to just think. No, like the catchphrase, I think outside of the box or anything like that. But you're always trying to put it through that scheme of reality.
Yeah.
Right? Forget reality for an hour and just come up with the most. And we literally wrote every single idea down. The whiteboard was a mess, but we wrote every idea down and then went through and thought, if we can't do that, what could we do?
Well, I think I remember back to when we did our last one all those years ago.
Oh, now I remember that, yeah.
And
I knew we'd done it. I forgot the details.
I'm pretty sure that from after that happened,
A ton of ideas.
there was a stack of things that we ended up,
Actually doing.
filming and doing and got through, and you went, oh, yeah, there was a solid amount of content that came out of that night.
This is true. That was a good night. It was a good night.
It was a very good night.
So, traveling with gear. What are some of the key lessons you learnt with the gear that you took versus the gear that you used versus the gear that you left behind, perhaps you wished you took?
Yeah.
Wish you had taken?
So I was happy with the stuff we took. I think we covered off everything we needed to do with the exception of a couple bits of gear.
Okay. Tell
So
us about
one
that.
was the cable for our Roadcaster, which runs
yes.
our podcast.
So we did our podcast with Beretta.
So we did the podcast at Beretta.
It was the one
And-
time in the entire trip
Yeah,
we needed power.
it was. So that was a bit I was super happy about, was for 99% of the trip, we were able to run without going, oh, do you have an extension cable or can we plug in over here?
Yeah,
It was just,
correct.
we were sufficient on our own means,
Yep.
just be able to pull batteries out and go, all right, we were sorted.
And the most annoying thing is
It's-
we had that cable.
We did.
We had
and it
that
was
cable, yeah.
sitting in the desk, sitting over there.
yeah. But it's all fixed now. That's
And I've since tested that and plugged it in and gone, cool, we can do this.
And so I love that idea that we can rock up and not be an imposition to the people that we were now to people we're working with. Now, one of the things that this particular trip, this was us sort of cashing in a couple of favors to go and make some content, which is potentially turned into some business down the track.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
But it wasn't them asking us to come. It was the other way around in this instance. And so we didn't want to be too much of an imposition. So we were trying to run sort of like
Yeah, you're aware that you're going into businesses that still
they're good.
they're going about their day to day. They've still got to keep things rolling.
Yeah.
Everything can't stop because it's like, hey guys, we're coming. Yeah, things still need to go on.
Exactly right. They were very good to us, and they treat us like all the companies we worked with treat us extremely
fantastically.
well and looked after us, which was very nice. And they certainly have been appreciative of the stuff that we've been able to create with them, and which is wonderful. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's where you want to be.
Yeah. So that was good. So one of the other things that I think came out of it in chatting with these guys who do this, you know, they're in their businesses and they're doing this daily, is that we build up to like this big hype of like, oh, we're going to spend a day filming and we're going to spend like 4 or 5 hours filming or whatever it might be. I think that at our first place we stopped at, your most productive half an hour was when I got seconded into an impromptu meeting. Seconded, I mean, it was a great meeting, by the way. Like,
Yes.
Thanks, Billy, for the time. It was really good, productive. But outside of that, that was probably the most productive half an hour of the day there, of the 5 hours there, and that was off the cuff.
Yeah, it was just me going, well, I've got half an hour. I better not just sit here on TikTok.
And
I'm
this is
going to
gonna-
actually make stuff.
This is going to come into one of the commitments that we're going to bring out of this particular episode. But was that like, and talking with these guys, like, guys, it doesn't have to be like a big marathon, like planned for weeks to do this day. Like you can literally make some of the content that works depending on the platform and such. But with all those caveats aside, you can grab your phone and create one now.
Yeah.
Like that's as quick as it is. And so that's, I think, one of the things that people, big companies, small companies, and everything in between. We worked with sort of a almost down to a one-man show, and then sort of one guy's got 2 or 3 employees, through to a pretty reasonable business that's got, I don't know, 30 at a ballpark,
Yeah, be
through
about
to a
that.
company that's sort of into the 80 to 100 or so employees.
Yeah.
And it can be just off the cuff and done and quick. It doesn't have to, like, we often overcomplicate things.
Yeah. It was interesting. The second business we were at is
That was Beretta, wasn't it?
Beretta.
Yeah.
Beretta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, like, well-established business.
Big company.
In the industry, huge company. But I think that they do produced content
Yes.
remarkably well.
They do.
Like they do a phenomenal
They've got
job
on
with
board graphic designers and,
Yeah,
and
that-
they've got a marketing team.
that. The works. Yeah. I think one thing that, like, especially I guess for Beretta Australia, who was, off branch of Beretta themselves, would be cool is that delving into those like 30-second TikToks, get to know the people behind the business. There's so many stories that you could tell in that, especially with the diversity of people that are there. It's pick up a phone for 30 seconds or, a minute by the time you edit it, caption it, and you go, here's a piece of content that you get to know the people behind the business, the people that are actually in there.
I think something like TikTok or Instagram is Instagram's moving into it, but TikTok is definitely there. Snapchat as well, if that's a method that you relate to, is that humanizing the business, I think, is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Is people seeing that so often to see a corporation and that sort of faceless corporation that exists. And then you got big corporations who have like a face like Elon Musk, but people relate to him. They might love him or hate him.
Yeah.
But there is this element of is not just this big faceless corporation, and yeah, I think in the macro that actually really works well.
Yeah.
And so to be able to humanize, and that's sort of one of the messages we were preaching on the way, is humanize the people that are there. Like people are. This is an obvious statement. People are people. But
What?
crazy.
Wow.
But we're all people, and these companies are nothing more than a collection of people in reality. And so, if we start getting to know those people, and we start getting to that person does the things that I like to do,
Yeah.
or they think about stuff the way I like to think about it. Huh. Okay. And there's elements in this discussion about scalability and sort of those sort of things where you become impossible to scale, but there are ways, and maybe we'll get into that in another episode of being able to scale your personality, and that's also one of the dangers of trying to build a big business that can't scale because it's all based and hinged around one person. But there's ways around it.
Yeah.
There's ways around it, and so I think that's interesting and something that we want to delve into with what we do, and we
Very
would
much
encourage
so.
others to do as well. So, speaking of persons and commitment, no, I've screwed up my segue comments, but my segue was speaking of people and doing things and relating. We're going to make some commitments about what we're going to do.
Yeah, we are.
You seem so excited. Remy is here to witness us make this commitment.
Oh, I thought we were going to rope him in with it as well.
Nope.
Damn.
He's also connected as
I
well.
love how quickly he was just like, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm
I
out.
am out.
Not committing to anything. So, Josh, over the next couple of weeks, you and I are in and out of the office. You're off for 3 days. Remy's off for – how long are you off for?
5 days.
5 days.
What?
And I'm going to the new premise.
You are?
I'm going there tomorrow, actually. I'm going there tomorrow.
I hope that I get back and everything's done.
So, I promise you, it will not be.
I know.
It will not be.
I
Anyway,
can hope.
so here's the commitment I would like to put forward. This is a joint commitment between you and I. Any day that we are both in the office, we create a TikTok for every one of our channels.
Yep.
Now, that is a total of 5 channels.
4. Is it 4?
No, there's Scoped Out, Projector Warehouse, Impact Dynamics, Captivating Attention.
Are we counting personal
yours
channels?
and mine. That is 6
6
channels.
channels. Now we up this.
6 channels. We create a TikTok for every single channel. Now, we should be doing this anyway, but what
Yes.
I'm talking about, so there's TikToks to be created anyway. What I'm talking about is like we will just grab a phone and create this. We talked about the fact that creating some of this content should not be a task.
Yeah.
It should be able to be off the cuff and away we go.
Yeah. Pick up a phone and go.
Particularly replying to comments. So I'm going to bring us to task on this. So we are going to, for 6 channels, we're going to create a TikTok. Now that could be replying to comments, which I'm going to suggest is the best way forward. But that is it. And the caveat is that it's the days that you and I are both in the office. So the first day is tomorrow, not today, tomorrow.
Good.
And we shall create 6 TikToks.
Well, it's one of those things that you hear that number and you go, you've got to create videos for
6 videos for
6 things for
brands.
different channels,
6
and
brands.
you go, what?
What?
But then by the time you actually break that down, you've got channels that have different brands that you could very easily pick up a particular product and talk about, this is a feature of this product or something like that. Or
I'm having more gin, by the way.
I think you got most of that tonic on the table.
I did.
Anyway.
It's table tonic. Pass me the tissue. Table tonic tissue, please.
Oh, well, can I have the gin so I can pour one as well? Anyway, should probably continue talking about stuff.
You certainly should.
Yeah, or it's picking up the phone and going, oh, there's a comment from someone here that asked, hey, what's the deal with this? Hey, man, this is it. Cool, good to go. Or just chucking it in your face and going, hey, what's your thoughts on this?
Exactly
Or-
right.
Like I've wanted to do is bringing that human element into it of whatever niche your business is in, whether it's yourself or for employees.
Oh, man, it's more tonic than that. Scotch off.
Grabbing I just went nowhere in my mind. That was
You
great.
certainly did.
Yep.
All right. So here's
sorry.
the commitment.
I've got it. Talking about your
Back.
particular niche, I'm back. Getting what you're into to go with that niche of like, all right, this is the thing that I like about it. Or, you know, when you've got employees, that's super easy to do because everyone has their own little thing that they can relate to and everyone thinks about it differently.
Yeah, this is true. Very good. Well, that is our commitment. That is episode number 6. Done and dusted. That is, what gin do we have?
It's a strong gin, that one.
I think you bought more gin than anything else. Apple and Violet from, you guys can't get this one because it's part of the Juniper Society from Old Youngs. But anyway, that's the gin we're having.
Gin.
No, that's gin.
That's that one. And it's still spinning in the background. Look at it go.
Look at you. Look at you doing your thing.
Said
Anyway.
that just as it stopped.
Perfect. All right.
Cool.
Cheers, mate. Remy, we'll pour you another gin. That's all right.
That's right.
Cool.
This is episode 6. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we shall catch you in the next one.
See you in the next one.